Today we're going to read a story called Tap Tap about a little girl who wants to ride a very special kind of cab that drives through her Haitian neighborhood.
Tap Tap by Catherine Tap Tap by Karen Lynn Williams, illustrated by Catherine Stock. It was early on market day when Sasifi and her mamma started down the path to the main road. The sky was still gray. Mamma carried a big basket of oranges on her head. Sasifi carried a smaller one. Will we ride in the Tap Tap today? Sasifi asked. No, said Mamma. We will walk to market, the same as always. The sky turned rose and then blue. Sasifi's basket grew heavy. She had been to market with Mamma before, but today was the first time that she carried her own basket. Now that Sasifi was 8, Mamma said that she was big enough to help on market day. Finally, they reached the big road. Many people were walking, some of them on slow, tired horses. Others led donkeys with heavy loads of sugar cane and bananas. Sasifi wished she could ride a donkey or a horse, or better still, speed along in a tap tap. Look, Mamma, Sasifi stopped and watched a brightly painted tap tap rumble toward them. Come, Sasifi, Mamma called, or we will be too late to sell our oranges. A woman on the side of the road waved and the tap tap stopped. The woman lifted up her basket and a man helped her climb on. If we take a tap tap, Sasifi said, we will get there in plenty of time. Already the new sun was hot. Sasifi's feet were tired and her neck ached. We don't have the money for the tap tap, Mamma said. Perhaps you are not yet big enough to help on market day. Safishi stretched her body taller and took bigger steps to keep up with Mamma. Of course she was big enough to help. As they reached the marketplace, crowds of people were gathering. Women with baskets and men with lumber, pigs and goats. Beep beep. The bright red, white, and yellow and blue tap tap pulled up, and a lot of people got off. Sasifi wished she were one of them. Inside the market, Sasifi saw women selling brooms and men selling little chairs. A man had a stack of straw hats for sale. Look at the pretty hats, Sasifi called to her mamma. But Mamma didn't stop. Sasifi had to push her way through the crowd to catch up. Everywhere the market women chattered noisily, like Madame Sarah's birds in their nests. Mamma found a space among the other fruit and vegetable sellers, and Sasifi helped count the oranges out into piles of 5. She dusted each one with a handkerchief to make it clean and shiny. Mamma showed her how to match the bigger ones with the smaller ones so that the piles would be even. All morning, Sasifi watched Mamma calling to the people and making change. When the sun was overhead, Sasifi curled up on the mat and slept. Later, Mamma went to do her marketing. She left Sasifi behind to sell the rest of the oranges. If you sell any oranges, be careful making change, Mamma warned, and tie your money tightly in your handkerchief. She disappeared into the jostling, noisy crowd. Here, Sissy called to the shoppers, as she had seen Mamma do. See my beautiful oranges. They are bigger and sweeter than the others. I can give you a good price. Mamma was surprised when she returned. Have you eaten all my oranges? She asked Safisi. No, Mamma, I have sold them all. Proudly, Safisi unwrapped the handkerchief she had tied around her waist and gave Mamma the coins. Mama counted the money and smiled. You have done a good job, she told Safisi. I have a surprise for you. She reached into her market basket and pulled out a pretty woven hat with a wide brim and a red band. This will keep the sun out of your eyes on our journey home. Mama, it's beautiful, Safisi exclaimed. Thank you. And she placed it on her head. Safisi had never had a new hat before. She placed it on her head, looking this way and that until it felt just right. Now, Mama said, handing Safisi the coins, buy yourself something before we go, quickly. Safisi could hardly believe her good fortune. It was the first time she had had money of her own to spend at the market, and she knew just what she would do. Come, Mamma, Safisi said, as she passed the market stalls where men were selling fresh bread. She passed the ladies selling sweet peanut candy and bonbons in bright paper wrappers. When she got to the man selling juice in plastic bottles, she stopped for a moment and looked at the bright colors red, green, orange, purple. She knew the juice was sweet and icy cold, and for a moment she couldn't decide. Hurry, Mamma said, we must go. Safisi squeezed the coins tightly in her hand, as if to make up her mind. Yes, Safisi told Mamma, we will ride the tap tap. Ah, said Mamma, a tap tap. I should have known. We will both get to rest our tired feet. Thank you, Chérie. Haiti is a country that speaks French. Chérie means love. Safisi ran ahead of her mother to place where the tap tap stopped. One big tap tap piled high with people and baskets and huge bags of charcoal began to pull away. Wait! Safisi called, but the tap tap did not stop. Here, a man waved to Safisi and her mother. I have a place for you. The man's tap tap was freshly painted with green and blue and orange designs on the side, and there were beautiful flowers and birds. Across the top, Safisi read the word hope. Do you go to Deschapelles? Asked the driver. Yes, Shetty. Come, Mamma, Safisi called. She climbed in the truck and chose the last seat so she could see out the back. The man helped Mamma with the baskets. She sat on the bench next to Safisi. We are ready, she called to the man. We can go. Not so fast, Shetty, said the man. Just two people cannot pay for the ride, Mamma explained. We must wait for others. A hat man came with a dozen hats piled on his head. He smiled at Safisi. Safisi reached up and touched her hat. She giggled with excitement. Surely we will go now, she thought. The driver banged the side of the truck 2 times. The car for Deschapelles, he called to the people leaving the market. A tired woman came with a baby in her arms, a little and a little boy clinging to her dress. They all climbed up. Mamma squeezed closer to Safisi. Safisi was squashed against the end of the tap tap. A hard chair pressed into her side. She tried not to think about the cold juice and the sweet bonbons she had left behind in the market. The tap tap is full, she told Mamma. Won't we leave soon? Soon, said Mamma. A man came carrying a table on his head. On the table were piled bowls and jars of good things to eat. The people in the tap tap passed the table back. The man climbed on. A boy with a bundle of sugar cane climbed on. He tossed the sugar cane on top of the tap tap. There were no seats left, so he stood up in front of Safisi. The driver banged the side of the truck. Good, he said. We will go. Wait, wait, monsieur, wait. One more woman was coming toward the tap tap. She was a very big woman. She could not run fast, and she was huffing and puffing. The woman carried 2 big baskets of yellow bananas, 2 big pineapples, and a watermelon. There is no place for her, Safisi thought. just as the man next to Mama squeezed her closer to Safisi, and the boy across from her took the two big pineapples. Someone pushed the big woman up onto the tap tap. Finally, Safisi felt the truck begin to move. Bump, bump. Safisi held onto her hat as their tap tap began to go faster and faster. Bump, bump, squeak. They sped past mud huts with green and pink doors and shutters, and pretty houses with gingerbread trim. They passed tired donkeys with heavy loads, and little children who stopped to watch. Safisi waved back, proud to be riding in the tap tap. Tap tap. The man with the hat banged on the side of the truck. The truck stopped and the man got off. Everyone spread out a bit as the tap tap started up again. Safisi liked the feel of the wind in her face. She held on tight to the beautiful new hat and laughed at the goats jumping at one another on the side of the road. Tap tap. The woman with the chickens hit the side of the truck. The tap tap stopped and the woman climbed down. She took the chickens and the tap tap began to move again. Two boys began chasing after them. Faster and faster went the tap tap. Faster and faster went the boys. They tried to jump on the back. No, no, cried the man next to Mama. Finally, the boys gave up and stopped, panting in the middle of the road. Everyone on the tap tap laughed. Tap tap. The man with the chairs hit the side of the tap tap. Everyone spread out. He took his chairs off the top of the tap tap, and they took off again. Beep beep. The tap tap horn blew loudly. Children scattered, and a big old pig squealed. The tap tap sped past the green rice fields and the leafy banana trees. Safisi held on tight with one hand. Suddenly, she felt her hat lift right off her head, and swoosh! It was gone. Safisi saw her beautiful new hat fly off behind the tap tap. My hat! Stop! My hat! She called, but her voice was lost in the wind. Stop! She called once again, as her beautiful hat with the red band rolled in the dust behind them. The tap tap did not stop. Mama, she cried. Mama was talking to a lady with the baby. She didn't pay attention to Safisi. Safisi's hat was a tiny speck on the road now. Help, she called. The tap tap squealed and rattled, but the driver could not hear. Safisi tugged on Mama's arm. Then she remembered what to do. Tap tap. Safisi banged as hard as she could on the side of the painted truck. She felt the tap tap slow down and stop. My hat, she called. She pointed, and several small children on the side of the road raced to save her hat. Merci. Thank you, she called to them when her hat was safely on her head and the tap tap started again. Beep beep. The driver waved as they passed another tap tap coming toward them. Safisi squeezed her eyes shut to keep out the dust, but she didn't let go of her new hat. Tap tap. This time it was Mama asking the driver to stop. Safisi and Mama climbed down and took their baskets. Safisi straightened her new hat and gave the driver her coins. The colorful tap tap began to shake and rattle down the road. Au revoir, Sasifi called, waving her hat. What do you think au revoir means? It means goodbye. Safisi danced ahead of Mama down the path to their village. Mama laughed. So you are not too tired after a busy market day? She asked. Oh, no, Mama. Safisi held on to her hat and twirled around. Not after riding on the tap tap. Haiti is a very small island country, and a market day is where all of the sellers of fruits and vegetables, sugar cane, animals, and small merchandise like brooms, hats, and stools are sold. A marketplace happens every day, every week, and you can go there and shop instead of going to a grocery store. It's a very different kind of life than we live here in Follansbee.